For most of modern history, the relationship was simple. Power companies generate electricity. Homes consumed it. Businesses consumed it. Cities consumed it. Very few people questioned the arrangement. Electricity arrived through wires. Bills arrived through the mail, and the system worked. But something unusual has been happening over the last decade. Around the world, millions of people have started generating some of their own power. Homeowners, farmers, small businesses, even entire communities. For the first time in generations, ordinary people are becoming energy producers rather than just energy consumers. The question is, why? What changed? And why are so many people suddenly interested in controlling one of the most important resources in modern life? Today, we're uncovering the hidden forces driving the rise of personal energy production, because this trend may be much bigger than most people realize. Let's open the file. The old energy model. To understand what's changing, we first need to understand how things worked before. The traditional energy model was highly centralized. Large power plants generated electricity. Transmission networks carried it across vast distances. Homes and businesses consumed it. The system was incredibly effective. In fact, modern electrical grids are among the greatest engineering achievements in history. But centralized systems have limitations. The further electricity travels, the more infrastructure is required. The more infrastructure required, the more points of failure exist, and the more dependent consumers become on systems they don't control. For decades, these trade-offs were accepted because there were few alternatives. Then technology began changing the equation. The technology became accessible for a long time. Generating electricity required enormous investments, massive facilities, specialized equipment, industrial scale operations. Ordinary people simply couldn't participate. But over time, technology became smaller, more efficient, more affordable, and more accessible. Suddenly, electricity generation wasn't limited to utilities and governments. Individuals could participate too. The hidden truth? One of the biggest shifts in energy history wasn't a new fuel. It was accessibility, the ability for ordinary people to produce energy themselves. The quest for resilience. Another major factor is resilience. For years, many people assumed electricity would always be available. Then, reality reminded them otherwise. Major storms, grid failures, natural disasters, infrastructure disruptions, unexpected outages. These events highlighted something important. Convenience and resilience are not the same thing. A system can be highly convenient while still remaining vulnerable to disruption. As a result, many people began asking new questions. What happens if power goes out? How long could I operate without it? Do I have alternatives? The hidden truth? Many people aren't generating power because they expect disaster. They're generating power because they value options. The rising importance of electricity here is another reason this trend is accelerating. Electricity has become more important than ever. Think about your daily life. Phones, computers, internet access, smart devices, home offices, security systems, electric vehicles. Modern life depends heavily on reliable electricity. In many cases, losing power doesn't just mean inconvenience. It can mean lost productivity, lost communication, lost income. As dependence on electricity increases, interest in energy security naturally follows. The more important energy becomes, the more valuable resilience becomes. The psychology of control now. Let's talk about something that rarely appears in discussions about energy. Control. Throughout history, people have always sought greater control over essential resources. Food, water, shelter, transportation, energy is no different. When individuals generate some of their own electricity, they often feel a greater sense of independence. Not complete independence, but increased control. And control creates confidence. The hidden truth? The movement toward personal energy production is not only technological, it's psychological. People want more influence over systems they depend on. The storage revolution. Generating electricity is only half the story. Storing it may be even more important. Historically, energy storage was one of the biggest barriers to personal power generation. Electricity had to be used almost immediately after production. That created limitations. Today, energy storage technology is evolving rapidly. Advanced battery systems are becoming more capable, more efficient, more practical. Storage allows people to use energy when they need it, rather than only when it's produced. And that's changing how people think about power. The hidden truth? The future of energy may depend as much on storage technology as generation technology. The global trend. This isn't happening in just one country or one region. It's happening across the world. Governments are investing in energy diversification. Communities are exploring local energy systems. Businesses are increasing energy resilience. Homeowners are evaluating alternative options. The common theme isn't ideology, it's adaptability. People are looking for ways to make energy systems more flexible, more resilient, and less vulnerable to disruption. The hidden truth? Personal energy generation isn't a niche trend anymore. It's becoming part of a larger global conversation. The energy independence movement. This growing interest has also sparked conversations around energy independence. Not necessarily complete independence, but greater self-reliance, greater resilience, greater flexibility. Many people are exploring concepts that go beyond simply reducing utility bills. They're learning about backup power, energy storage, resilient systems, alternative approaches to energy management. If you're interested in exploring some of these ideas further, I've placed a resource in the description and pinned comment that dives deeper into the topic of energy independence and self-reliance. It's a fascinating area that's attracting growing attention around the world. Now let's continue. What the future could look like. The future may not be completely centralized, and it may not be completely decentralized. Instead, it may combine both approaches. Large infrastructure systems will continue playing an important role, but local energy generation may become increasingly common. Homes may generate power, communities may store power, smart systems may optimize energy usage automatically. The relationship between consumers and producers may continue evolving, because increasingly, those two groups are becoming the same people. The bigger lesson at its core: this story isn't really about solar panels, or batteries, or technology. It's about something much bigger. It's about how societies adapt. Every major technological shift changes the balance between dependence and independence, between centralization and decentralization, between consumers and producers. And energy may be entering one of those periods of transformation. The hidden truth? The rise of personal power generation isn't simply an energy story. It's a story about control, resilience, and the future of modern infrastructure. So why are more people generating their own power? Because technology improved, because energy became more important, because resilience became valuable, and because people increasingly want options in a world that depends heavily on electricity. The goal isn't necessarily to replace existing systems. The goal is to create stronger, more flexible systems that provide greater security and adaptability. And that may be one of the most important energy trends of the coming decades. If you enjoyed this investigation into the hidden systems shaping our energy future, subscribe to the Frequency Files, because in our next file, we'll continue uncovering the unseen forces behind energy, infrastructure, technology, and power. Until next time, stay curious.